So let's look at a person profile. So let's go back to that spouse test profile that we were just working on. And I can just give you a little tour about what we see here. Let's start on the left. You're going to have a photo if they've got a photo uploaded. If you hover over any of these buttons, they will tell you things. So they first visited 2 years ago, they're a visitor. If you want to follow them, you can do that. We'll have a different video about following. If you want to send an email, you click the button and it starts a communication wizard to that person. There's an actions menu. I will click it quickly just to give you a view of what it looks like. We'll talk about each one later. Actually, let's do it now. You can download their vCard. This is helpful if you're on a mobile device. You actually cannot impersonate on the internal site. There's only Rock admins can do that. You can fill out a form for them. This is their C2C intake form. If you know that they've recently made a decision to get baptized or a decision to be saved or to whatever. A care ministry request, you can fill out that for somebody internally here, and a prayer request, you can fill that out for them here. We are changing our background check policy so that you won't need this form anymore. If you want to send them a DISC profile request so that they could fill out their DISC profile, you can click that here. If you know that there's something wrong on their profile, then you click this and you could submit a request to the data integrity team to fix whatever is wrong. And then this is a workflow that sends them a email that asks for them to upload a photo, and they don't have to be logged in to do this. They would just click a button and it would take them to a web page and they would upload a photo. And then this request assessments kind of goes with the DISC profile, except this will allow you to request not only DISC but also spiritual gifts and some other assessments. So when you click any of these buttons, it initiates the workflow with this person already entered into the workflow. You don't have to select them later. This is how you edit their profile. We'll do that in a minute. This tells you a little bit about them, the information we have about them. Okay, let's come back up to this edit button here. So we have active, inactive, pending here. If you needed to inactivate a person, you could change it up here in their record status. Photos can be uploaded using this pencil icon. You can change any of the information up here. If we can, it's great to have their gender or their birth date, any information we can gather about them. It's just helpful for doing searches to find groups of people in the future. If they do not have this SMS box checked, then we cannot send them a text message. So technically we need their permission to check this box though. So it's kind of, many of our forms that ask for a mobile phone number will also have a indicator that they can opt into text messaging. We also have their email address. Same thing, email is active. We don't need to ask their permission to have the email active, but sometimes if the email is incorrect, it will bounce from the email sender, and then this checkbox will be turned off. So if the checkbox is turned off, let me just click save and look at the outside. You'll see this black triangle. So that black triangle means that their email address isn't active. If you get a corrected email address from them, then you can come in here, edit it, and then just turn email as active back on. We have email preferences. The person, if they click certain buttons on their side, it might change, like to unsubscribe, it might change this to no mass emails, or they might say don't email me at all. So we can control it that way. And then they can also choose on their profile on their external website when they can do their own edits. They can choose if they prefer emails or text messages, SMS. And then on our side, when we're sending messages, occasionally we could select to send that message via the person's preference, and then they would get an email or an SMS instead. Alternate identifiers, you shouldn't really need to mess with this too much. But advanced settings, sometimes if you merge two people together, the old email address will show up here, and you may or may not want that to happen, so then you can delete it here. Occasionally, a older person needs to be kind of still treated as a child or in a special needs situation, so you can lock them as a child to this family, and then they will never be like promoted to an adult during an automatic rock process. And then if you have a person who has been married, then their previous last name can show up here. And that way, if you're searching for them with their maiden name, you'll still find this profile, but the profile would have their married name on it. So I think that covers most of the editing part. You always need to make sure you hit save when you're finished or nothing will be saved. And then down here is the family button. Let's see if I should do person profile, family. Yes. So the family button, family area top will show icons for each of the family members and images and pictures if they have them. To edit it, you just hover over the little pencil. Each family is technically a group in Rock, and so it has a name and members, and it's just treated a little differently than like a Bible study group would be. A family can be active or inactive or pending. A family you can inactivate an entire family by just clicking inactive here and then a reason why they're inactive instead of having to go into each person and inactivating them. And then we have a status as well. I don't think we have much of a definition for what that means, but that's there. If you need to remove somebody from a family, you can move them to a new family. And alternatively, if you need to add somebody to this family, you can add them here. Adding a brand new person to Rock would be here. I hesitate to do that from this screen because you need to go investigate to see if that person happens to already be in Rock and they just might not be connected to this family yet. So if somebody is already in Rock, you go to this existing person button and then you can search Rock for them, select them, and then they'll be added to the family. Something interesting in Rock is that a person can be in multiple families. So if you have a divorced family situation and mom and dad still go to the same church, but they have different households, the child can have only one profile, but they could be part of both families. And then this is where you would put the address for the family. And if the family moves, you can indicate that it's a previous address and a new address. I want to clarify that addresses only belong to families. So a person does not have an address, but a family has the address. That is why the address is here under the family box and you don't see an address up on the person profile. When you finish doing anything with a family, you have to click save, or you won't have saved anything that you did.